Just get me my ticket. This guy has never been told in his life the word no. That's why he thinks he can tell a police officer what to do. Welcome back to Under Oath. Tyreek Hill, Miami Dolphins wide receiver, was pulled over near Hard Rock Stadium on September 8th, 2024 for speeding and not wearing a seatbelt. What started as a routine traffic stop quickly escalated when Hill refused to keep his window down, fearing unwanted attention from fans. Officers demanded Hill exit the vehicle and, after some resistance, forcibly removed him, placing him in handcuffs on the ground. Hill was cited for careless driving and failure to wear a seatbelt, but not formally arrested. Discuss.
Discuss?
Oh, I forgot to say, you're representing Tyreek Hill.
Okay, that's completely unfair. I was totally ready to take on the side of the officers.
Of course you were.
In this case.
Of course you were.
I have to represent a rich, bratty celebrity. That I'm being forced.
You don't know if he's bratty. The video alone lets you know he's bratty?
Yeah, he's a little bratty.
I kind of felt that he seemed impatient.
If you're going to make me make the argument.
Oh, I'm making you make the
argument. Gun to my head.
Welcome to the law.
Okay.
Lawyer man.
You have to realize who it is that you're dealing with. And I'm not saying you have to realize because he's a celebrity. You have to treat the different types of people you run into differently. If that was a traffic stop and the lady's 104, you need to treat her like a 104-year-old lady. You have to be cognizant of the things that a 104-year-old lady would be worried about. You were pulling over an athlete. What is the athlete going to be worried about? He's going to be worried about people taking pictures. I mean, it was game day, right? So that at least half of the people going to that stand would have absolutely love to have a picture of one of the Miami Dolphins players being harassed by the police, right? So let him roll his window up. He's not going to shoot you. He's an NFL star. What do you think? He's going to shoot you and drive away? You already have his license. Everybody knows it's him. You're claiming that you might be in danger, and that's true. You might be if it wasn't Tyreek Hill. If this was 3 o'clock in the morning behind some beaten up 7-Eleven, okay, I can see you being a little bit concerned there. But this is a celebrity. He's not going to shoot you. He's not going to drive off. He's fine. Let him roll the window up. Let him have the little bit of peace of mind that comes with fans not being able to snap pictures of him getting harassed by the police. I mean, he needs to pay the ticket. He was speeding, so he should have gotten the ticket. The officers pull him over. That's fine. But recognize who you're dealing with. Would it be okay for the officer to say to a 105-year-old lady, "Hey, ma'am, we need you out of the car right now. You got 4 seconds to get out of the car." Would that be appropriate? No, of course not.
Are you actually trying to compare a professional athlete with somebody who might have a physical disability?
Yes. In that different people require different levels of accommodation.
You know, it's amazing.
You're making me take this side. You want me to make an argument? This is a great. And you know what? As I'm making the argument, I'm actually convincing myself.
Yeah.
Yes.
So athlete.
These are good arguments.
Athlete privilege. That's what we're going to call it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Athlete privilege.
No, we do not differentiate financial.
Yes, we do.
Or status.
We treat people different all the time. You are lying to yourself if you think police don't treat celebrities different than they do regular people. I agree. Morally, they probably shouldn't, but in some cases, they need to.
But you know what the fact they found out? The guy who stopped him didn't know he was a football player.
Okay, well, after someone said, "Hey, you know that Tyreek?"
He was pulled out of the car after everything happened. Oh. Okay.
He doesn't. Hold on. It's a Miami cop that doesn't know what Tyreek Hill looks like.
Hold on. It's the way it works.
Does he play tennis?
I guess.
This is the only tennis playing officer on the force?
I saw the video. I watched the video. And thank God we have videos now to make sure that officers do their job and people can't make up stories later. In the interview later, Tyreek Hill said, I was acting appropriately and respectful.
Why don't you have your seatbelt on? Why don't you have your seatbelt on? Keep your window down. Annie. Hey. Keep your window down. Keep your window down. I'm gonna get you out of the car.
All right, well,
And-
we have the video. I'm not making the argument that he was acting
I guess we
appropriate
have to
and
accept that some athletes are morons too. That should be the moron clause. And I'm pulling over a rich guy who earned his money being an athlete, so he never got the proper education, received the proper education, and he's entitled, and he believes in his heart because he has a mental deficiency that he's better than everybody on the planet and he can do whatever he wants to do. If that's the case,
Hold on.
If that's the case, then I'm not going to hold on.
You're the one making me make this argument.
No, I didn't make you.
Isn't he a little bit better than the average guy?
In fact, he's worse.
Isn't he a little bit
worse.
better? Really?
He's more likely
Does
to
the
shoot
average
you
guy
because he
bring
thinks he's
in
entitled.
millions of dollars in ticket sales and merchandise sales to an organization?
He brings
No.
in himself. I thought the Miami Dolphins as a team bring that money in. But forget, that's not even the point.
But he's a star player. He's one of their star players. Lots of people go in part because Tyreek Hill is on the team.
So it's the Miami Tyreek Hills.
Well, he's part of the team. You can't deny that.
The fact is this, is that, and I've said this before and I'll say this again, and if you're an athlete, please, or a celebrity, listen to the words I'm saying. I'm not doing this to insult you, but I will tell you this. Officers, judges, bureaucrats are in positions of authority, and they can do what they want, and they don't have to care.
all right.
No,
So-
hold on. And they don't care that you play football or you have millions of dollars or you're going to threaten them, because in the end, they could do something you can't do to them. You know what they can do to you? Put you in jail. And they will. And later you might get off and everything else. But Tyreek, how much money do you think you've lost in endorsements because of what happened? And that's going to happen. The fact is this. Your comment, why are you banging on my window? Because you didn't unroll the window. I've been standing here. Okay.
All right, listen, his language could have been a little better.
You bark an order at me.
His language could have been a little better. He could have been a little bit more
Just
compliant.
give me my ticket. I got to go.
But you know what he should have done is listen. And I'm not saying this to be a jerk, but here's my advice to Tyreek. Listen.
Oh, now you're not representing Tyreek
I
anymore?
am concerned. Yeah, I'm representing him. This is my advice to him.
Okay.
Here's what you tell the officer, Tyreek. If you want to roll the window back up, explain to the officer why you're doing it. Don't just be a jerk and roll it up. Say, hey man, listen, if it's okay with you, I'm on my way to the game. I don't know if you realize it, but I'm one of the players. I'm sorry for speeding. I shouldn't have done that. But do you mind if I roll the window up? Because all of these fans that are coming to root against my team, they would love nothing more than have a picture of me getting pulled over. So will you let me have a little bit of dignity and let me roll my window up so that these guys can't? The officer would have probably said, oh, I didn't realize. Oh, you know what? Of course. Of course. Go ahead, roll the window up. I'll be right back with your ticket. And then no one will be talking about it.
You know why this moment right now is nonsense? And I'll tell you right now why everything you said is nonsense, because you're basing it on that this person has the ability to listen to bad advice.
I gave bad advice?
No, you gave bad commentary, things that he won't like. See, he's been told his whole life everything's roses and you're great and you're fantastic, and nobody has ever given him the bad news. That's why, in some delusion, he thinks he can act like that to a police officer. I can't act like that to a police officer, and I can practice law.
You could ask the officer to make
That's
special
not what happened.
accommodations
No,
for
I was
you.
talking about what he did.
He didn't ask for special accommodations. He was wrong in assuming that he should get it. He should know enough to ask for the special accommodations.
I didn't say that your
but it
advice
should have
was
been
wrong.
given.
I'm saying that nobody in his world has ever given him advice where he had to take crap or
And
he had to do
we got to
something.
revisit the he's not worth more than the average Joe.
No, I don't think so.
Are you kidding?
No.
How much money he brings to the city of Miami?
Defense for before we do what we do now?
Yeah, it was quite a while.
Yeah, we did it for about five years.
Yeah, we don't want Tyreek Hill
Okay.
being taken off of the Miami Dolphins.
Did you ever confront an officer that would not have pulled him out of the car in a situation like this?
I think his actions forced the officer to pull him out.
Okay, but we don't know a single officer in this situation.
Not in this situation. No, you ruined it by acting the way you did.
That's
if
all
you
I'm
had
saying.
just said, "Hey, listen, I'm in this category, and I know whether or not you believe I'm better, that's not even the point. The thing is, I am asking for a special accommodation, though, and for these reasons. If he had just said that,
Here's the deal.
Then I think, yeah, you probably should treat him a little bit differently because you aren't in the same kind of danger as you would be if this is just one random person.
I'm going to put myself out there right now. If you are a professional athlete and you need some pro bono advice, that's free. And somebody who is willing to tell
You're being a
you
little condescending
the
there,
truth.
aren't you?
Yes. I guarantee Tyreek Hill does not know the word pro bono. Did you hear him from the car? Just get me my ticket. This guy has never been told in his life the word no. That's why he thinks he can tell a police officer what to do. You're out of your mind. We know the law. And we're yes or no, sir. You have never badmouthed a police officer. In fact, you and I had an attorney once who thought he could badmouth a police officer. And what happened? Click, click, click.
Yeah, it didn't go well for him.
Did not go well. And he's fortunate he had us
you know
as
what?
attorneys.
It never goes well for the people who think that they can badmouth police officers.
No,
It never does.
Respect the job. You don't have to believe in it. You don't have to like the person, but it's your duty to respect
He
them.
wasn't objecting that he was getting the ticket. He was just objecting that they wouldn't let him roll the window back.
First he yelled at him for knocking on the window to roll the window down. And then he started yelling at them. Just give me my
I think
ticket.
the video I saw, the window was already down. I didn't see the
Yeah, you didn't see the comment before. It was ridiculous.
Well,
of him
listen,
yelling.
I think I made an excellent argument for my client.
Yeah, click, guilty.
Was the force used by the officers justified or excessive?
Now, we know
I'm
you're
still taking the position of representing him.
Yes.
Well, then I have to.
Why?
As his attorney.
I could even argue a little bit for you. You know, there was one thing it made you uncomfortable. Watching where he put his knee. That one officer put his knee on the dude's back somewhere. And I was watching it going, please don't be anywhere around the neck. I was automatically going, okay, our country's it's gonna go bad in 10 seconds. How do we not train officers how to handcuff people? There were 3 of them. And he still has to put that knee in the middle of the dude's back.
That's the training, though.
They have to work it out. Rather tase the dude. He's not compliant, tase him. And it'll be really easy to
Since Tyreek Hill is my client in this made-up scenario, I can't argue against that. But for other types of situations, the officer has to have his knee in the back so that he can try to control him if he gets up.
There were 3 police officers. And one had to put his knee in the back.
Tyreek Hill could have beat the crap out of all 3 of those officers.
But he did.
But he didn't.
Didn't.
So
There
of
was
course
no-
you
there
have
was no
to.
even intention to do
You
it.
don't wait for the person who's getting arrested to make the actual attack. You just anticipate that it could happen, and you take the precautions in advance of the bad thing happening. Right? You have fire extinguishers in the office buildings, not because there's a fire right now, but because there might be one, and if there is, we need to have it handy.
Why don't we punch him first, just to make sure?
Well, that's physical abuse ahead
A
of
knee in your back?
knees. Nothing.
How would you? I'll do it to you. You want to
In
lay
my
down?
back?
Yeah.
While you're arresting me?
No, just for the hell of it right now.
Oh no, just for the hell of it, it's not appropriate.
Should Hill have rolled down the window and complied?
Initially, yeah, but they should have let him. They should have let him because of his celebrity status. They should have accommodated him because he's a unique type of individual, just like the 105-year-old grandma should be accommodated for her unique circumstances.
Okay.
Officers should accommodate for unique circumstances.
Were there people walking by?
It was a highway. I can't imagine there are people walking by.
No. So how many people stopped their car when they realized it was Tyreek Hill and got out and started taking pictures?
Well, why would they have to get out of the car? Why can't they just slow down or stop on a highway?
And-
As a matter of fact, officer, I am so concerned about the safety of everybody on this road. I don't want to create a car accident. If they drive by and see it's me, Tyreek Hill, maybe you don't recognize me, but all these people on their way to that stadium right there, they probably will recognize me, and you're going to create a traffic situation.
Do you know the only people who
That's
pulled over?
an even better argument. Thank you.
Do you know the only person
I
who pulled over?
just won that argument. Thanks.
Do you know the only person who pulled over? A fellow player who then wound up getting handcuffed too. Because he couldn't follow instructions either.
Seems to be a pattern.
Another entitled player gets out and goes, I'm going to help my guy out. Click, click, click.
It seems to be a pattern.
Almost 2 guys didn't make the game. And then at the end of
But
it,
they did make the game, right?
then they do the celebration when he scores a touchdown where he pretends like he's getting handcuffed.
Well, he was handcuffed.
I know. But
That's a little
the celebration thing at the
Yeah,
end.
it's a little fun.
So How does that?
He's not, as long as he's not trying to claim that like he was traumatized or anything stupid like
he
that.
was saying, I'm not sure if I'm going to file a lawsuit or not.
Oh, for God's sake. Well, okay. Well, he's my client, so I guess I can't take that position.